Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? I just want to say thank you for watching, and today I wanted to talk about Twitter, more specifically in response to the recent hearings that's been going on by members of the right who feel Twitter needs to be investigated. And for starters, I just want to give my sincere thanks to Representatives Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert. And the reason being is that, these hearings are really, really entertaining. It is just so amazing how funny it is to watch these three just make bigger fools of themselves than they already are, and their ignorance is just unlimited. And there's even a slight degree of self-awareness in Jim Jordan's part, where he states the obvious, that Twitter is a private company and, it's not federally run, it's not a federal organization, and therefore not really bound by the First Amendment. But, hey, they're outraged. The Republicans, when are they going to learn? So, I just wanted to talk about that briefly. I watched some of the hearings and see some of the testimony that has come out of it. And for starters, their overall claim is that, what they did, that there's a bias against them and that they're not being treated fairly. Which also includes some of the treatment towards Joe Biden and the former president, Donald Trump. But the simple truth of it all is that not Jim Jordan, he was never banned, but Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, they got their accounts banned or suspended permanently because they violated the terms and agreements of Twitter. And therein lies the problem with them, because it's not about right or wrong, it's not about ethics, it's just about political theater. They just want to put on a show to impress the fans, all right? You think they would be focused on more important issues like inflation, gas prices, which they've complained about in the past. They get control of the House. What do? They go after Twitter. Because, just because. We're mad and we need to vent and we need to, stick it to them. Boebert was banned due to misinformation on the presidential election. Yeah, she was going off about, voter fraud and all that other nonsense. None of that was true, of course. President Trump lost the election, not because of Twitter, but because he's a loser and he's just a bad candidate, and Joe Biden put on a better campaign of him. And for the most part, people were fed up with Trump, period. It's about time you all just, all you election deniers, start accepting reality. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was banned due to misinformation. She was posting about COVID and the vaccines. She put on stuff about ivermectin, which has been proven not to be, a treatment for COVID and everything. And some of their information, I don't know for a fact or have any statistics, but probably got people killed. Because misinformation, people didn't want to get vaccinated and stuff like that. And that compromised their health and safety, Hence the reason why Twitter, suspended her account as well. I think it happened to her on 2 different occasions where she was suspended, it was restored, but then back. And now they're back on Twitter since Elon Musk took over. Because Elon Musk, he is just so concerned about truth and all that other good stuff. Yeah, right. So, and during some of the, testimony, like Boebert, she was acting more like, this crybaby little schoolgirl. I kid you not. That's the way she looked like. She came off like some teenager who couldn't get a date to the prom, so now she's all outraged and just screaming. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was more like just beating her chest, and just trying to make a point that, like, oh, I'm in Congress, you're not, I represent the people, you don't. No, Marjorie, you don't seem to represent the American people, let alone the people of Georgia, from the state that you're from. You seem to be more interested in representing yourself, which is why this whole fiasco is going on. And there was more. There was Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana, who was actually threatening him, anticipating there might be arrests to some of these former executives from Twitter. Arrests for what? They didn't break the law. There was no laws being broken, okay, not to my knowledge. Here's the thing, when it comes to social media in general, I'm not a big Twitter user. I've used it from time to time. I've never had any problems with them as far as content being taken down or my account was suspended. But in some other accounts, I've been known to postings where they say, this might be a little questionable for such and such reasons. I'm not going to go into detail. And it might be taken down. I've had instances where they said, we can't show this content because it's in violation of a certain rule, and you get a chance to appeal, which I did in one case. And I said, they made a certain claim, which I said, no, the claim's not true because of this, that, and the other thing. And they responded saying, upon reviewing, it turns out you're right, you didn't violate it, so we will post the content back up. Pardon the, we're sorry for the inconvenience. Different platforms, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, they have their rules and regulations. They are private companies, and if they feel there's something that violates those rules or the terms and conditions that you agree to when you create an account with them, guess what? It is their right to take content down. Plain and simple. That's something these people don't want to get. There was also a representative from Texas, Peter Sessions, who was praising Elon Musk. Like, give me a break. I mean, talk about brown-nosing. It's like, it's entertaining, at the same time it's also pathetic to watch these people, And what it turns out that Alexandria OcasioCortez was there and certain other members, and she pointed out that Trump requested certain tweets being removed. Specifically, he made some comments against some TV personalities, one in particular, Chrissy Teigen, and she responded with some explicitives. I'm not going to repeat it. You can Google it and read exactly what she said to him. And that hurt his feelings, and he reached out to Twitter saying he wants it taken down. Poor baby. Guess what? I receive insults from comments from other people on social media. Some people that I know, some people that I don't know. Some that are just joking around, some that are actually using malice. Guess what? I don't get all worked up. If anything, I respond in kind because I'm not going to let stuff like that faze me. Because I'm not thin-skinned, unlike Donald Trump, who, the commander-in-chief who can't deal with a few insults because he's wasting all his time on Twitter instead of running the country like he should have been doing back when he was president. Something else that Alexandria Ocasio pointed out is that there was one account called the Libs of TikTok that posted false information about alleged hysterectomies being performed on children, which turned out to be not true. It was towards a hospital called the Boston Children's Hospital, and that got spread off by far-right media, and that led to bomb threats and, similar content, which basically is leading to threats against LGBTQs and transgenders. And yet, for some reason, that account or, those particular tweets, to my knowledge, were never taken down. And she also pointed out that at one point, Twitter modified their rules and regulations in favor of Donald Trump because he was posting some content against her and other members of the squad, like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, telling them to go back to where you came from. Where originally that was a violation in Twitter's terms, but then they modified the terms a little bit just to allow it. If anything, the people on the right, from Jordan to Boebert to Green to some of these other sycophants, could not prove anything. It was all spectacle. It was all just, let me throw out all these allegations, make this huge scene, put on a show, got no evidence, but it doesn't matter because, some people on the right, mainly the MAGA crowd, they're not interested in evidence. They just love the performance. They love, rooting for their team. It's like, yeah, way to go, Boebert, this and everything. You put on quite a show. You showed them. No, you didn't. If anything, it showed quite the opposite, that there is a bias, in favor of the right against the left. And it's probably still going on. Another member there from the left pointed out that there's been an increase in anti-Semitic remarks going on Twitter ever since Elon Musk took over. Because like I said, Elon Musk is all about truth and everything. And it goes on. One of the key things that they were focused on is that before Musk, there was an article from the Post about Hunter Biden, and that was withheld. And according to them, their theory is that had it not been withheld, had it been allowed to circulate, that would have allowed Trump to win the election in 2020. Because, again, it's all Twitter's fault, right? Twitter's to blame, this and that, the election was rigged, all these excuses. The whole world is to blame except Donald Trump. Like I said before, no. Donald Trump lost because he's a loser, because he's a lousy president, and the election was not rigged, and this article would not have made a shred of difference. If anything, as mentioned before, it pointed out, when Tucker Carlson brought it up months back, it turns out the investigation discovered that some of the content that was withheld contained nude photos of Hunter Biden that were posted without his consent, and that is also a violation of the terms, which is why it wasn't taken down. In addition to AOC, there was a Congress Maxwell of Frost that, he was one of the few voices of reason, also pointing out some of the atrocities from the right. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the whole thing was nothing more than just political theater. They wanted to put on a show. Here would be my suggestion to Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert. Not that they would ever listen to me. They probably will never even hear this. And even if they did, they would disregard it, because I'm just your average Joe. You really want to make an impact? You want to impress your fans? Come out with a healthcare plan. There's a lot of Americans, a lot of them in red states, but as a matter of fact, who do not have healthcare. Come up with a healthcare plan that gives them coverage that they need, so that if they get sick or they get injured, they don't fall into medical debt. Oh, wait, that's kind of complicated. Trump tried that and failed because he said nobody knew healthcare would be so complicated. No, Don, we knew. You're the only one that didn't know. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you something a little easier. Raise the minimum wage across the country to $15 an hour, or something higher than it already is, so that people, especially in red states, are making more money, and it will have a positive impact on their lifestyles. Do something like that. Forget about Twitter and stop trying to put on a show. If you do that, even I would look at you and say, you know what, hey, they actually accomplished something that really helped, and I got to give credit where credit's due. Even though I don't like Jordan, Greene, and Boebert, I got to give them credit where credit's due. But of course, even if they heard this message, they won't do such thing because, again, it's not about helping people. It's about trying to impress their base, what little base is left, because the MAGA base is dwindling. And I don't know, how many times, how many instances like that, how many lies do you have to listen to until you reach a point where you say to yourself, hey, these MAGA these sycophants of Trump, they're not doing anything for the American people. All they're doing is, just licking Trump's boots and just trying to put on all this show, which isn't doing anything for us. When are you people going to wake up? Because put it this way, and I've mentioned it before, in the past midterms, you people of Georgia, Colorado, you guys could have easily voted out Greene and Boebert and had somebody there who would be doing the right thing by you, not wasting their times on Twitter, but focusing on policies that would have helped you as well as other Americans in other states. But no, you decided you went for the crazy one. I don't know. I guess you were being tribal. You just said, well, I can't vote Democrat. I can only vote Republican, even if it's a stupid Republican. So, well, congratulations. This is what you get. You get nothing. And that's what this whole Twitter thing has brought, so far. Jordan and all them, what do they got? They got nothing. They never had anything to begin with. And they're just continuously making fools of themselves, being more and more of an embarrassment to the GOP. And what's worst of all, Kevin McCarthy, he ain't going to do squat. He's just going to sit back and just turn a blind eye and just say, okay, hopefully they won't bring it up too much. I don't know if he's been questioned about this, but I'm sure if he did, he wouldn't have anything to say. He would just brush it off because he's got no spine. He's got no backbone. You think I'm wrong? Really? Well, put it this way. As I always say, let's put the shoe on the other foot. And again, I wouldn't tolerate this from Democrats. Let's say this wasn't Jordan, Boebert, or Greene, putting on this fiasco or this spectacle. Let's say it was AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar making this case against Twitter. Would you all look at them and say, yeah, they're doing the right thing. This is a big, important issue, Not inflation, not healthcare, not, minimum wage, not gas prices, not any other tangible things that can help the American people. But they are focusing on Twitter, and good for them. They'd be in support of that, yes? No. They would be as condescending to them the way I am being condescending to Jordan, Boebert, and Greene, and rightfully so. Because, again, this is all about spectacle and political theater, and it is a waste of taxpayers' money, and it doesn't get anyone anywhere. And it just, they continue to make buffoons of themselves. So, but hey, at least, like I said, it is quite entertaining. It is, fun to laugh at. So, oh, when will they ever learn? When will you, people of Georgia, Colorado, seriously, and I say this respectfully, When are you ever going to learn? So, anyway, I really hope you understand. Thank you for watching.